Hello everybody, welcome to my weird wonderful world. This video is inspired by Glen Kellaway, who thus was also inspired by Close to the Edge, a channel that Glenn loves to watch. Is one of his favorites. He said, I'll be leaving a link to Glen Calloway's video that inspired this video down below, and probably a link to Close to the Edge also. So but I am changing the title a little bit. Like with the Glenn Calloway's, it was he ranked his. Okay, mine are not ranked at all. There's a reason why. Well, it's because first of all, I could have picked so many CDs. There's so many out there I have, but I could only pick 10. Okay, and these were the ones that kind of. So when I was looking through my whole CD selection to see which ones I could pull out. These ones were the ones that kind of floated to the top. I sort of have a personal, history with these ones. Now, there is only one greatest hits in there. The rest are pretty much all from, from particular albums. I didn't want to go obscure. I didn't want to pick like 10 albums that nobody heard before. And it's like, of course they're deep cuts because nobody ever heard them before. So let's start from the beginning at number, again, they're not ranked but yeah, they're not ranked from the worst to least or whatever. They're more or less some of my favorite deep cuts. My first favorite deep cut is going to be from License to Kill. No, sorry, Dress to Kill. Yeah, Dress to Kill from their third studio album. Now, a lot of people, of course, would probably say Rock Bottom, maybe Come On and Love Me. Um, how about She? Or even, especially Rock and Roll All Night, which became the big hit once they made a live version for Alive, Kiss Alive. So, but for me, the gem on here, the deep cut, is Getaway. Getaway, the fourth track, written by Ace Frehley, and for the longest time, I wasn't sure who sang it. It's like it doesn't sound like Paul Stanley. It doesn't sound like Ace Frehley. It doesn't sound like Gene. And yeah, it's Peter Criss that sings it. But yeah, Getaway. It's only like 2 minutes and 43 seconds long, but for me, I find it's the best song on there, and it so perfectly sets up Rock Bottom. It's just a way, yeah. When you're listening to the album and you're getting to the almost at the end of side one, which would be the Rock Bottom is the last song of side one. It sets it up. It sets it up so perfect that once Rock Bottom starts, like is magical. But yeah, Rock Bottom wouldn't punch so hard on this if it wasn't for Getaway setting it up so perfectly. Yeah, Getaway is my favorite song on this for sure. Okay, keeping it going. Here's at number 9, but again, it's not ranked. This is just from least obscure to the most obscure, I would say. So off of I believe this is their debut album, is High Voltage, AC/DC. Okay, a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, a long way to the top." TNT, the title track, High Voltage. Oh, even Livewire. Everybody loves the Jack. For me, the deep cut on this that I really love is "Can I Sit Next to You, Girl?" Can I sit next to you, girl? It's such a, you know, I love the story. I love the way he sings it. The music, it's a different track than some of the other ones. It's a more it's a This is such a playful album and such a great album. Oh yeah, of course, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. What a way to start off an album! But by time, like, it's because you just listen to TNT. It's dynamite, and then right after, yeah, comes I think it's the best song for me personally. It's the best song on the album. Yeah, Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? Track number 6 on here. Okay, the next one that I'm deep cut that I'm talking about. Now, when Glenn did his deep cuts, he brought up the Doors, but he brought up the end as one of the deep cuts that he really likes. For me, Peace Frog off of Morrison Hotel. Yes, yes, Peace Frog is again. It's not a very long song. It's only 2 minutes and 51 seconds, but I love the jangliness of the guitaring. I love the way you know Jim Morrison sings it. I love how the band plays it. It's for me it's my favorite song off of them, and probably one of my personal favorite songs of the Doors because it's so carefree, but yet the lyrics are darker than they sound. It's like, and I'm still not sure exactly what he's talking about in the song. Blood up to his knees, blood up to his ankle, and such and such. But it's called Peace Frog. Yeah, it's a bit of a mysterious song for me, but that's why it's in there. All right, the next one in the list of deep cuts. Now, for me, this is the deepest cut of Alice Cooper off of Killer. I would always have to say Halo of Flies. It's probably, I would have to say, technically speaking, it'd be the first prog song that I ever heard. And because of the progginess and how different it is off of than any other song. Of course, the big ones was Desperado and Under My Wheels. Be My Lover. Those were the main songs that people were known. But me, I always went to Halo of Flies. Halo of Flies. For me, I think that's the deep cut off of this Alice Cooper Killer. That just that made me keep coming back more and more. There's many times where I put the album on and just be playing just that song because it attracted me so much. Now, this next one here, this next deep cut, I consider it a deep cut, and I've given it as a request the song to Larry Graves and to the Trash Talker, and it got pretty positive response. But for me, this is one of my favorite songs from this band, well, from Rush. And the deep cut is from Power Windows. I've always been such a huge fan of Marathon. I mean, I really love Manhattan Project. Of course, Big Money. Big Money is the main song that everybody knows from this. But for me, Marathon. There's something so uplifting and so motivating about that song. It's such a song that the way the music keeps rising and rising and rising, even right up to the very ending. It keeps rising and hearing Neil do all those cool little drum fills in that as the song is fading out. But all through the song, there's just this get up and go type of hustle to it. It's marathon, like from first to last. The peak will never pass. Something always fires that light that gets in your eyes. One moment's high, and just listen to it. I find it's their most uplifting song, and motivating song. I always think it's a gem, and that's probably that's number 6 of my deep cuts. All right, at number 5 of my deep cuts. Now, I like the other albums too, just as much. But when you're talking about Devo, okay, and this is a double album, but it totally counts. I'm not counting it off of Oh No, It's Devo, but but it's Freedom of Choice, that album that I'm looking at. And the song I'm really looking at as a deep cut that I love is Gates of Steel. And it's their most rockin' song. It's the song that sounds the least Devo, but it is 100% an awesome Devo song. It sounds the least like Devo out of all their songs, and it comes right after Freedom of Choice, the title track. And so once it goes into Gates of Steel, yeah, that's for me a nice deep cut that I really love. Now, this is the only greatest hits I'm including on in these 10, and I'm putting it at number 4 here because like I said, it's the only place where I've ever seen this song appear. I don't know if it's on any other album or not, but it's only because it's when it says what the other songs are from, like Wild World. Like I'm talking about the greatest hits here. Okay, it says Wild World is from Tea for the Tillerman, which I have. Oh Very Young is from Buddha and the the chocolate box. Can't Keep It In is from Catchable at 4. All these songs have an origin, except for Two Fine People. But what it says that is from Cat Stevens' greatest hits. So it's saying that it's only from this. So yes, Two Fine People, track number 6 here, is one of my all-time favorite Cat Stevens songs, and it can only be found on on the greatest hits. So it makes it one of those deep cuts. If you don't have this greatest hits, then you don't have that song on any of his other works. So that's why that counts for sure, 100%. And now the next one at number 3, okay. And here we're starting to get into the little bit more obscure, but I talked about all 3 of these albums on my channel at least at one point, and specifically this one here. Lemonheads, It's a Shame About Ray. If you don't have this in your collection, if you don't know about this is probably amongst one of my highest recommended albums out there. I highly recommend it. And for me, the song that I love on this for me a deep cut, and you might find your own little deep cut. I think some people would really love the first song of Rock and Stroll or Confetti or even It's a Shame About Ray. Rudderless is probably a very good one to jump in on. The Turnpike Down. But for me, it's track number 8. Allison Starting to Happen. Now, I remember in early, it was just 92, 93, around the same time that I started listening to Tool. I was working at a place called Deluxe Restaurant, and there was the super attractive girl working there named Allison that I had such a huge crush on, and so when I heard the first time I heard Allison Starting to Happen, of course I immediately associated that with her. But still, it's the most rockin' song. It's my favorite song on the album, and regardless of whether it reminds me of her or not, I mean that was something else. Never made a move or anything, so yeah, it didn't go anywhere. But I thought she was pretty rockin' herself. But yeah, that's if you don't have a Lemonheads, It's a Shame About Ray, you should change that. At number 2, it will be from the Spoons, the 30th anniversary. Now, maybe not such a deep cut. Now, I still have the other album of them that has Romantic Traffic, and what's the other one? I should go get that. It's just right here. Yeah, it's called Talk Talk. That has more of the normal hits on it, like yeah, Old Emotion and Romantic Traffic. But I'm talking about the title track itself of arias and symphonies. Just go like I consider that a deep cut because you need to know about, of course, the Spoons, the 30th anniversary. For me, the actual deep cut would be Symmetry, one of the bonus tracks, but I don't know if that would count as a deep cut. But I want to count it. Symmetry is my favorite song that's on this album, but from the album itself, my favorite song is Arias and Symphonies because it just has such a great flow, and I again the way he sings it and everything is it's awesome. So that is going to be at number 2. It's a little bit more obscure, but if you know who the Spoons are, maybe it's not as obscure as I'm thinking it should be. And at number 1 here, the last thing I want to talk about And now I remember the first time hearing this, okay, and there's an intro to it, but it's track number 2 called "The Past." And what I'm talking about is Matt Mays and "When the Angels Make Contact." And for me, I consider it a deep cut because I was aware of this album already, "Terminal Romance" by Matt Mays. The songs that I love off of this is, of course, "Digital Eyes," "Tall Trees," "Rock Ranger Record." Those are the three major ones on this. Although the rest are good. "Shining Eyes" is good. "Stand and Deliver" is good. So, but the deep cut that I'm talking about off of this is the second song called "The Past," because the very first time hearing it really starts off the album with an awesome bang. You're not sure where it's going to go. You know, like because I'm hearing it for the very first time, and I have no idea where. Like, is it going to go? Is it going to go bad? And my brother was listening. We were both listening to it for the first time because he had bought this before I did, and he had just bought this. Us liking matinees and taking a chance on this. Never heard anything from it. But once that song, "The Past," started, it perfectly sets up the rest of the album, and it went in the right direction rather than in the wrong direction. Like, because we were there worried for a second that it was going to turn into a bad album, a disappointing album. But it no, it went in the right direction, and the rest of their album just like, yeah, it kicks butt. So highly recommend it if you haven't heard it. Of course, I highly recommend "Terminal Romance" too. That's such a great album too. I love Matt Mays. Well, those are my 10 deep cuts that I was thinking about after being inspired by Glen Kellaway from the basement and everything. So I hope you enjoy that. Uh, I'm trying to come up with an idea for every day to come up with a great video for you guys. I just don't want to disappoint you guys. That doesn't, bode well with me. So I'm always trying to please you guys and do the best content that I can because you guys know I love you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I will love you even more and greatly appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit the like button, of course. Leave a comment. I do whatever I can to comment back. Just ask anybody else who comments. They tell you I comment back as much as I can. And okay, everybody, be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.